Welcome Year 10 to our fourth video tutorial. This tutorial and the next one are going to look at something different than what we've been looking at for the last two lessons. Currently, we've been looking at two-dimensional shapes like a square and finding the area for them. Today and next lesson, we're going to be looking at three-dimensional shapes, such as a cube. So let's have a quick look at our PowerPoint today. Today's lesson, surface area of prisms and cylinders. A quick recap from last lesson. We learned that composite shapes are shapes made up of smaller shapes. We learned that to find the total area of a composite shape, we first find the areas of the smaller shapes. We call these A1, A2, A3, A4, etc. We also found out that some composite shapes involve adding areas together, like the one in the top right hand corner, but some also involve subtracting areas from each other, and we can see this in the bottom right hand corner. So what are we looking at today? Surface area. All three-dimensional shapes have a surface area. The surface area is the total area of all of its surfaces or sides. The cube to our right is a good example of a three-dimensional shape. To find its surface area, we must 1. Locate how many sides this solid shape has. In the case of a cube, it would have 6 sides. 2. Find the area of each side. And similar to our last lesson, we will still call these A1, A2, A3, A4, and in the case of a cube, A5 and A6. The surface area then asks us to add each of these areas together. So, our final surface area would be SA equals A1 plus A2 plus A3 plus A4, and in the nature of a cube, plus A5 plus A6. We would find the individual areas of the sides and simply add them together. So, let's do an example on the board of the surface area for a cube. I'll wipe away our top shape up here because we're no longer dealing with two-dimensional shapes. We're looking at things like cubes with 3 dimensions. So, our first step. Let's locate how many sides a cube has. 1 at the front, 1 on the side, 1 on the top. But we know that there are more. There's 1 at the back, 1 at this opposite side, and 1 at the base. Therefore, a cube would have 6 sides. To find the surface area of this cube, we would need to add the area of each of these 6 sides. So, our formula would look something like this. SA equals area 1 plus area 2 plus area 3 plus area 4 plus area 5 plus area 6. Our total area, surface area, would be the area of each side. A1 plus A2 plus A3, A4, A5 and A6 because it has 6 sides. Let's look at a different example quickly. What if we had a triangular prism? A triangular prism has a triangle face. Our first job would be to locate how many sides are on this prism, because it's different to a cube. Let's have a look. We would have a triangle here at the front, but because there's one at the front, we would know there would be one at the back as well. I'm going to draw that in now. Then because it's a triangular prism, it has rectangles on the side. But if we counted these together, there would only be one rectangle here, one rectangle on the other side, and another rectangle on the base. So let's count them together. One triangle, two triangles, 3 for this rectangle, 4 for this rectangle, and 5 for the rectangle on the base. Therefore, a triangular prism would only have 5 sides. To find its surface area, it would be the total of these 5 areas added together. SA, surface area, equals A1 plus A2 plus A3 plus A4 plus A5. It would simply be the area of each shape, or each side, added together to find the total surface of the shape. Now let's look at one now quickly on the PowerPoint, which is the formula you'll be given for a different type of solid. This solid is called a cylinder. Study this slide of the PowerPoint and have a look at what a cylinder is made up of. A cylinder is made up of 3 shapes, 3 surfaces: a circle on the top, a circle on the bottom, and its side. If you rolled out the side of a cylinder, you would find it would be a rectangle. So, a formula you will be given for the surface area of a cylinder is beneath the image. Surface area equals 2 pi r squared, 2 lots of the area of a circle, plus 2 pi r h. It's important with this formula that you know how to use it. Follow our 4 steps. Whenever you see a cylinder, its surface area, you would write its formula. 2, you would write your values, r and h. 3, you would substitute them into your formula. And 4, you would calculate it. So because this is a different type of shape, we're going to do one of these on the board together to show you how you would substitute values to find the surface area of a cylinder. Now I brought one with me. This roll here, or cardboard roll, is a good example of a cylinder. It has a circle on the top, a circle on the base, and one shape that goes right around it. If I cut this cylinder and opened it up, we would find that would be a rectangle. So let's find the surface area of a cylinder. I'm going to draw one up here on the board. And I'm going to say that this cylinder has a radius of 5. I'm going to say that the cylinder has a height of 10. This time we don't need to count the sides, we simply need to use our formula for the volume, for the surface area of a cylinder. So you'll be given this in class. Let's write it up on the board like we always would. Step 1. Surface area equals 2 pi r squared plus 2 pi r h. That's our formula for the surface area of a cylinder. And step 2 would be to write in our values. If we look at the formula, we need to know what r is, and we need to simply know what h is. R is equal to 5. H is equal to 10. Let's do our third step and substitute these values into our formula. The surface area would become 2 times pi times 5 squared plus 2 times pi times 5 times 10, the height. So, all of you give it a go right now of actually calculating this on your calculator. See if you can beat me. Let's have a look. 2 times pi times 5 squared plus 2 times pi times 5 times 10. And if you calculated it correctly, you would find your answer for the surface area of this cylinder would be 471.24 units squared. So that's the only tricky formula you need to know for this lesson. But understand that prisms or solids are different to two-dimensional shapes. To find the surface area, you need to find the area of each of its faces and add them together. And 3, that the surface area of a cylinder has a slightly different formula, one you will be given and one that I'd simply ask you to use successfully. So, let's have a look at what we're looking at next lesson. Next lesson we're going to be looking at the volume of prisms and cylinders. Alright, Year 10, well thank you for watching. I'm glad we had Howard here for the whole lesson.